Welcome to No Gate Fees with Brent Martineau on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 Network.
Hey, welcome inside 1937 Spirits and Eatery. That's where we're hanging out on a Wednesday for No Gate Fees, presented by Nimnick Buick GMC. We did the Brent and Austin show here, doing some things and hanging out in the backyard. Probably a good place to watch a ball game, actually, out here in the backyard on a beautiful Wednesday. And there are a lot of ball games to watch. Brent Martineau along with Jason Hamby. Thanks for hanging out with us on a Wednesday as we are in district action when it comes to boys and girls, baseball, softball. We've got a lot of activity going on in high school sports throughout the way. And, usually we have a topic. And Hamby, today I was like, I don't need a topic. We've got a bunch of ball to talk about. We'll have Bishop Snyder, head coach Zach Osbeck coming on in just a little bit. We'll have committed to the uncommitted. We got our high five power polls as well, which is a little tricky right now to do the high five power polls because you got teams winning and losing. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday are where most of the district matchups are. And this thing's going to settle itself out soon enough because if we have some upsets in the district championships or the district battles, then we could see some teams move up or down and could lose home games, or some could gain some home games based on what happens this week when it comes to the regional playoffs. Brent Martineau here, Jason Hamby back in the Action Sports Jack studios, and a fun time of year, man. You played in this area when it comes to districts and everything heats up. You got to play good ball. That's the bottom line. There's too many good teams. This is what I say. Doesn't matter. Try to predict it. Are you good enough to maybe make a run? Maybe you are. Can you surprise some people? Maybe you can. But the bottom line is this time of year, if you're a high school baseball team, softball team, if you're playing lacrosse, if you're playing tennis, if you're playing anything, you have got to just put the best out there. And usually the team that plays the best on that day, Hamby, gets the job done and wins.
Yeah. It's definitely one of those where at any given night, there's definitely no guarantees when it comes to district playoffs. Like you said, way too many good teams around this area, and it really puts the pressure on the whole pitching staff. You can kind of get by in the regular season with one or two arms, and that's not necessarily the case when you get to districts. You got to play Monday night, Tuesday night, Thursday night. You got to have multiple guys you can trot out there on the bump. You got to be able to pitch, throw strikes, and then a lot of times, specifically baseball, I'm talking about there. And then a lot of times it's whoever makes the least amount of mistakes on the base paths or defensively who normally wins.
By the way, a shout-out, too, on the flag football world as Clay wins, and so they continue to move on, and they got away with some rain. There was some rain out there. We had some puddles last night on CBS 47 and Fox 30 as we were showcasing that. Let's do this. Let's go down some of the scores from Tuesday in district play because now we set up for district championships. Most of them are happening on Thursday. I think there's even one or two tonight. So here's what we got. In baseball, Bartram Trail in 7A beat Atlantic Coast, and they will move on to play Creekside, who beat Sandalwood. So we get Bartram and Creekside. Jason Hamby, you were at the Creekside game against Sandalwood. Sandalwood won against Flagler Palm Coast. A nice win on Monday, but obviously this is the time of year one inning does you in, and it kind of did the Saints in last night.
Yeah, and the Saints have kind of always they've struggled all year at the bat. They had like a 1.7 ERA or something like that. As an entire pitching staff, and we're 12-11 going into last night. So to have a 500 record around there with a 1.7 pitching total team ERA is a special kind of struggle at the plate, and kind of proved costly last night. They get shut out, and they make really one bad pitch to a dangerous hitter for Creekside. 5-hole hitter, I believe was it Bysham last night. Hit a 3-run double.
Yeah, Mike Bysham, yep.
Yeah, it should have. Really a 2-run double with an error. Pitcher, unfortunately, didn't back up home plate. It turns into a 5 spot in that inning, and they finish at 6-0. And, yeah, one bad inning is you can't have them. You got to avoid them at all costs.
Yeah, you got to do it. And, by the way, Mike Bysham, obviously, we've been watching him play for a while. He's a junior, and he has been clutch. He's a clutch player for over the last couple of years for the Knights, and you need that kind of performance. You need that kind of play for to move on and win, and he was able to get it, and the Knights will play Bartram Trail. I think it's kind of a fascinating matchup for a bunch of reasons. Obviously, we know it really well, but everybody knows that's a pretty good rivalry here in the area. Bartram and Creekside playing for the right to go. Now, both teams look like they're in a pretty good spot to get in the regionals. There's actually an outside chance that the two teams could meet again in the regionals in the first round as a 4-5 matchup. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Creekside is pretty safe in the 3 spot, so they would not match up maybe until a regional final against Bartram Trail, I think. But I think Bartram's pretty locked into that 5 hole, so I guess there's a lot that still could happen. I don't think you're going to get a rematch right away. Maybe a rematch potentially down the road. But the other big thing about that, to me, is the future of this rivalry and the future of both programs. There's some young guys, young talented guys. Cantona for Bartram's having an unbelievable year. Labby, the shortstop, I think they'll end up sending him out on the mound tomorrow to face Matt Bysham, Mike Bysham's brother, and Bysham's just a sophomore, pitched a lot for Creekside, done really well. And by the way, Creekside had a freshman going last night and delivered an excellent performance in Gavin Dupree. So this
Didn't throw a ball into the third.
I think you're going to be. Didn't throw a ball to the third inning, and we know high school baseball is about strikes, man. So that is pretty impressive in its own right. So that's a good matchup in 1-7A, Creekside Bartram Trail. I think both will make the postseason anyway. Here's where it gets kind of fun now. Fleming Island beat Tokoi Creek, and they win 5-3. They won Monday as well. Tokoi Creek's had that excellent year, been up and down as of late, and just the nature of it, they should get in as well. But Fleming Island now onto a district championship game, and they will play Buchholz, who beat Oakleaf, and Oakleaf's been a hot team, a team that can really beat anybody, but they lost yesterday 7-3. And how about this? Buchholz scored 7 runs in the 6th inning to win that game. So for the longest time, Oakleaf was up. They just couldn't get an out. And sometimes that happens. You just can't find an out when you need an out. In 3-5A, Clay beat Middleburg 1-0 in 12 innings. There's got to be nothing more nerve-wracking than a nice playoff game that goes 12 innings, Hamby. And Clay does it a bunch. They play a bunch of extra inning games. They play a bunch of close games. They probably are in a familiar spot when they're playing like that, but 1-0 over Middleburg. Heck of an effort by Middleburg, by the way. But the Blue Devils are able to get that win. So a nice win for Clay. Meanwhile, Orange Park beat Ridgeview. And in District 4-5A, you get Beachside over St. Augustine. A heck of a win with Jake Meadows going on the mound. They will play for a district championship. Ponte Vedra beat Inglewood on the other side of things. They sent... it'll be interesting to see what happens in that matchup from a pitching standpoint, but Ponte Vedra Beachside in 4-5A. Meanwhile, Baker County, they win. They will play Wakulla. Bishop Kenny routs Ribault, and Yulee beats Paxson 9-0. We've got some other scores that will get Santa Fe a little outside the area, but in District 4-4A, they win. Menendez beats Palatka 4-2. Bishop Snyder 3-0 win over Baldwin. We'll talk more about that in a bit because that was a no-hitter by Aiden King, the Florida Gator commit. And it's interesting how you position your pitchers now. They'll have to play Trinity Christian, and they got another arm. But I was wondering, Hamby, if they would save Aiden King, try to get by that first round, and then play Trinity Christian with King. They're going to do it with Bichelle instead. But you're coaching. That's an interesting decision to make, right? I mean, you don't want to be left leaving an arm, but at the same time, if you want to win it all, you might need that arm.
Yeah, I mean, that just comes down to matchups, and I'm sure their coach looked at, the opposing lineup and made the best decision. But the last thing you want to do is play for a game that you're not guaranteed to play and to lose before you get there, knowing that your best arm and your ace, was sitting on the bench. So, you just got to get there and you kind of see what happens from there, and you scrap together, even if it has to be a Johnny Holstaff type game. But I mean, they got another guy, so they should be just fine.
Yeah, Trinity Christian, by the way, wins 5-0. They've now won a couple in a row after that late-season slump, and they've got plenty of arms, by the way. Bowles beats Wolfson 8-3. They've got a bunch of arms, too. Episcopal over Providence, nice win for Episcopal as they hold off the Stallions and get the W. Now everybody waits to see about the regionals. Keystone Heights beats PK Young. Trinity Catholic over Father Lopez. St. John's Country Day, no problem with Harvest Community as expected. St. Joe's will play St. John's Country Day for a district championship. They beat Christ Church 3-0. 3-0. So those are the baseball scores. We'll catch you up to date on the softball scores in just a bit as well. Let's take our first time out, and when we come back, we plan to be visited by Zach Osbeck and the Bishop Snyder baseball squad here on No Gate Fees, presented by Nimnicht Buick GMC. Remember, we have committed to the uncommitted, high five power polls. Those are still on the way, and more from the softball world when it comes to these district matchups on a big week here in Northeast Florida and around the state when it comes to ball and high school sports, wrapping up in the spring session. We'll be right back here on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 Network. It's a new logo, new branding, but with Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. And with that comes the perks we miss in the big business world. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who's coming to your house. You know they will be well trained. And they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at BoldCityAC.com. The folks at Bold City Heating and Air also know your AC unit is important and can be a big expense. That's why they have financing to help. No payments, no interest for 12 months on new systems. $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at BoldCityAC.com. Homegrown in your hometown. Bold City Heating and Air.
Do you have ugly concrete around your home or business? Are you tired of concrete that is cracked, stained, or just plain ugly? Spartan Coatings' range of products provides a surface that is non-porous, easy to clean, antibacterial, and slip-resistant, all with superior durability.
Living in Florida nearly my whole life, I know the toll our weather can take on a garage floor. That's why I had Matt and the crew from Spartan Coatings transform this space. And the best part? They did it in one day.
It was a professional process from step one. The polyurea and polyaspartic system provides superior flexibility, is 4 times stronger than epoxy coatings, and will withstand temperatures high and low. Plus, it comes with a 20-year warranty. Whether it's a garage floor, patio, pool deck, driveway, or your interior flooring, Spartan Coatings has you covered. To get started transforming your ugly concrete surfaces, call 904-671-3930 or visit SpartanCoatings.com today for your free quote.
In Northeast Florida, we love hanging out on the back patio, maybe grilling out lunch or dinner with the family, enjoying the good weather, or maybe enjoying the big game on the TV. Or maybe your favorite team in town, the Action Sports Jacks team. This is great, except for when it's really hot or the bugs start coming out. But what if you didn't have to worry about that? Titan Outdoor Solutions will make your outdoor area a comfortable spot any time of the day, any time of the year. This makes too much sense. Titan Outdoor Solutions can give your home an upgrade. Customized pergolas, awnings, controlled shade, even retractable screens. The solution to beating the heat and the bugs and getting more use out of your home is Titan Outdoor Solutions. And this can even help prevent storm damage at your home. Living in Florida and living in your home is already good. Now make it great. Quality products, custom work, locally owned and operated. Visit TitanShuttersAndScreens.com or call 904-484-7580.
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms. Whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV, you can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
It's the place we party in football season with Jaguars All Access.
Welcome to Spring Sports Brewery, everybody. Say hello to our guest tonight. That is Trevor Lawrence.
You can bring your party or event to Spring Sports Brewery in Springfield any day and any time. Rehearsal dinners, corporate events, birthdays. Here at Strings, you can enjoy the inside area and the outside area. Good for any weather, good for any occasion. Watch the games, play the games, shoot some hoops. Beer? Yeah, they have that. Plenty of choices. And sure, this is a brewery, but Strings is also a restaurant, and the food is fantastic. A full menu made from scratch meals. And if you need String Sports Brewery to help with a party at your place, they cater too. Family, beer, food, sports. Spring Sports Brewery in Springfield.
Here we go, Brent. All right, welcome back to No Gate Fees. Looks like Brent might be having some.
I got you back.
All right, here we go.
We got a lot going on here, Hamby. We're shooting commercials. We're losing internet. We got everything going on. Hey, how are you doing getting Coach Osbeck and the boys in? Any luck?
He's looks like he's trying to pop in yet. We don't quite have him, but we should have him momentarily.
Okay, good deal. We'll keep running down some scores and check out some of the softball situation. You want to take care of that. I'll hold us over here on No Gate Fees presented by Nimnick Buick GMC. Brent Martineau Jason Hamby will be joined by Bishop Snyder in just a little bit. And let's roll down some of the softball scores from the district matchups, and we get into championship play once again over the next couple of days. And just so, again, if you're new to this part of it, how it works, at least in baseball and softball, is you're going to have a ranking that will come out I think on the weekend, and that will include the last couple of weeks. A couple of weeks ago, things were frozen for district seeding. The last rankings that have come out in baseball and softball was last Monday or Tuesday. So there's going to be like 10, 11, 12 days that go by. There are going to be 4 district winners. They get in, regardless of where they're ranked in the region. And then there's 4 at-large bids. Now, they still are going to seed them 1 through 8. The top 4 will host unless you're a district champion and say you're a 6 seed, you're a district champion, and you're playing the 3 seed that didn't win a district championship, well, then the district champion will host. So there's some love for the district champion, even if they are the lower seeded team. I think I have that all right. So that being said, there's a lot to figure out is the bottom line. If you are not top 4 or 5 in your region, I think you hold your breath a little bit this time of year because the upsets can happen. And depending on who in your district is ranked the most, like you take Class 3A, West Nassau lost last night in softball, but they're going to be just fine because of where they are ranked. They are going to get in the state tournament. That's not the case for other teams. Mandarin lost last night in softball, and they were right on the bubble. They could be on the outside looking in after this thing shakes out. So that's kind of how it works. Speaking of, Atlantic Coast, what a win for them. They beat Mandarin 1-0. They score a late run, and they throw up a goose egg on the other side. Heck of a performance by Atlantic Coast. That's a surprise and out of nowhere. The biggest surprise in the area last night almost happened at Creekside. Bartram Trail was up over Creekside 4-2. Creekside ends up walking it off with 3 runs in the bottom half, and Bartram Trail has a really good lineup. They have a young pitcher who did a great job in that game. They played terrific defense, but those had been blowouts in the first couple of meetings. And Bartram Trail almost pulled off a stunner, but Creekside and Atlantic Coast will play tomorrow night in the 3-7A. Nice beat Tokoi Creek 10-1. 11-1, excuse me. Oakleaf over Buchholz, 13-3. This is softball now. Gainesville beat Columbia. Middleburg over Ridgeview. What a performance by Ridgeview. They took Middleburg, one of the top teams in the state, to 8 innings, and it was a late home run by Hagan to get it done and walk off and win for the Broncos. That was probably a pretty exciting scene there in Middleburg. In 3-5A, Clay was down early, but they come back and they beat Ponte Vedra 9-4. This one actually went 8 innings, but it was 5 runs put up by Clay in the extra innings. So what else we got? Fleming Island over Beachside, 12-0. I believe that's Clay and Fleming Island tonight, not tomorrow, to play for the district championship in 3-5A. Fleming Island trying to chase their first district championship. Paxton over White, 21-0. Bishop Kenny beat Rains 13-3. Yulee over Stanton in a forfeit. I don't know what happened there for that to happen. Keystone Heights 7, Pearson Taylor 1. Palatka 11-6 over Bradford. And then this was a little bit of a stunner. We thought it'd be a great matchup, Baldwin West Nassau, in one of those games where the Warriors just didn't play well, and Baldwin takes advantage. They win 17-1. Episcopal over Fernandina Beach 10-0. So we get Episcopal Baldwin for the district championship, and don't be surprised if we see that again in the state tournament as well. St. John's Country Day beat Bishop Snyder 11-8 in softball. St. Joe's over Trinity 4-3. Providence over Harvest Community. UC beat Christ Church, so those two will match up. UC a heavy favorite in that one. And then we've got Fort White, Brantford, and Madison County, and Osceola Christian on the other side of things. They beat Hilliard. So that is your rundown of all the district scores. And now I think we are headed to Bishop Snyder to talk a little bit of baseball. We have them all set up. Hamby doing some good work. These guys kind of figured it out. They're smart. They figured out how to get in here and be a part of No Gate Fees presented by Nimnik Buick GMC. Zach Osborne, I know you've grown the beard now, huh? You got the beard looking good,
we're
man.
Kind of on a win streak. You got to keep it rolling, don't you?
That's it. Got Aiden King next to you. Had a big performance, no-hitter. Congratulations, young man. Nice performance yesterday. Well, hey, you guys are rolling, Coach. 9 in a row, obviously just what you want to be doing, right? Playing your best ball at the right time of year.
Absolutely. That's been our goal kind of all along. We knew we had a young team going into the year, and it would take a little bit of time, for everybody to get on the same page and for us to learn our guys and understand what, where to put them in the best situation for them to succeed. And we're starting to figure that out now at the right time. That's always been our goal from the first day of the fall.
Yeah, well, there are a couple of guys you know where to put them, and that's on the bump, and that's your guy right there, Aiden King, and also Cody Bichelle. I mean, that's a nice 1-2 punch, isn't it?
Certainly is a luxury. Anytime we give those guys the ball, we feel really, really confident in the team and success of the team to go out, score a couple of runs. I mean, we don't feel like we have to go out and score 12, 15 runs. Certainly, offense has done their job on this nice little run that we've had in the last 9, and they've scored quite a few runs, but it's an easy feeling. Anytime I get anxious, I just have to remind myself, Aiden's, we're okay.
Yeah, that's a pretty good feeling. Aiden, tell us about the performance last night and really your season. It's been really good. Obviously, strikeout to walk ratio is what people are talking about. You just continue to develop and develop. Where's your game at on the mound and why you feel so good? Why are you performing so good?
I feel like right now, at the later end of the season, my pitching has become at its peak right now. I still have room to improve. Last night I didn't really have my slider, but I was fortunate enough to beat people with the fastball and just work efficiently and trust my defense to make plays behind me. And just even though they might have hit the ball, I had guys in position to make plays. And that was the main goal early on in the season too, was keep my pitch count low so I can go as long as I can. And just trust my defense, knowing that we're in the district final tomorrow. So even with Cody on the mound, both of us know that we have a defense we can trust, even if they put the ball in play.
Coach, what are you seeing out of that young man right there who looks like he continues to progress? Obviously a Florida Gator commit, but just keeps ticking up, at least from an outside perspective. Obviously you see it every day. Give us a little bit more on Aiden.
Yeah, it's been unbelievable since, the summer of before his freshman year when he came in. Every year he's come in and continually gotten better. Not just, the velo numbers are one thing, but we're talking strike to walk ratio. That's, those numbers that he's put up, 118 strikeouts and 6 walks. I mean, those are just those are video game numbers that it's such a treat to watch. And he's just so much better every year. Coach Kellum and Aiden have done so much work. They've put in all the time. They've done the arm care. They've done the conditioning. So it's no surprise at all to us that, every year he seems to be throwing his best games toward the end of the season and continues to get stronger as we go.
Has he always been a strike thrower like this, or is he just in some kind of groove? And you know this, and we know this, and we talk about this a lot, and you guys do too. High school baseball is about strikes, man. If you get that kind of strike percentage, you're going to win a lot of baseball games at this level. But has he always been that, or is that something that's kind of honed in a little bit more the last couple of years?
He came. We were certainly blessed when he walked on campus. He's always been a kid that could pitch. Came in, he'll probably tell you, maybe 130 pounds, skinny, 5'6", but he could always really, really pitch. I mean, he came in, stepped in as a freshman, really was our number one from day one, and just continued to get stronger, continued to add velocity. As I said, he and Coach Kellum continued to work on mechanics and just clean some small things up. The Crawford guys have done such a good job with him in his time growing up before he got here. So we were certainly blessed with really, really good mechanics and a lot to work with. But certainly he's taken it to a different level just from the work that he's put in once he got here.
Hey, Aiden, you're heading to Florida. I'm assuming that's still the plan, and that's getting closer and closer, man. Are you looking forward to that? Are you excited about that? Have you thought much about it?
I'm certainly excited to head to Florida. It's always been my dream to be a Gator and just really live out my dream to pitch there and hopefully win another national championship.
Yeah, that would be fantastic if you can do that. Coach, I got a question for you. You guys got Trinity tomorrow. How much thought was it? And I know Cody's a very good pitcher in his own right, so you feel good tomorrow on the mound against Trinity. I don't know if anybody feels good tomorrow going against Trinity. They're very talented. But how was the thought process of maybe holding Aiden for tomorrow and going with Cody yesterday? Was this just on the schedule? Like, what went into that?
Anytime you have a chance to pitch Aiden King, you pitch Aiden King. We're not going into a district tournament ever looking past anybody. Certainly Aiden's our number one, and he gives us the best chance to win day in and day out. So we're going to give him that ball first and foremost. We know the type of challenge that we have ahead of us tomorrow. Trinity's a great team and a great program, and Murph does such a good job over there, and we're so excited to just have the opportunity to go over there and compete tomorrow. Cody, we feel very, very comfortable in Cody getting the ball, but we also feel very, very comfortable with the guys behind them. As many arms as they have, we got some really, really good ones over here as well. So we have a lot of confidence going into tomorrow.
Cody, by the way, still a Tennessee guy, right? I don't think that has changed. So obviously that is, again, you're talking about some SEC power on the bump. But you guys have mentioned Aiden's a senior. I think you have one other senior. You're talking about a team that's full of sophomores and some juniors, has some freshmen on it. Trinity's the same way. I mean, get used to this thing the next couple of years,
Coach.
Yeah,
it's going to be fun. It's going to be a nice roll. Just a little correction. We don't have any juniors, Brent. So we are
none.
Full of freshmen and sophomores. So it's certainly an exciting time around these parts over here on the west side between Trinity and Bishop Snyder. We're excited. These guys compete against each other all year round, so they know each other very, very well, as do the coaching staffs, and we're excited to be able to line up and see where we match up against one of the very best teams in the state.
And Aiden, the interesting thing here is, and I got to believe you feel this way, and I'll ask Coach about it too, but you guys are in a pretty good spot in the region. So I think unless something crazy happens, you guys are probably heading to another game. Did you kind of feel that way anyway, or was there any sense last night when you pitched that, hey, this could be my final high school game?
We kind of take it as one game at a time. Like, we knew going into the game, like, when we win this game, we have a spot in the regional final. So we were just like, let's just go ahead and win this game and then worry about the game next. There's no point to worry about 2 games ahead of us when we need to win this game to secure a spot.
Coach, I think the district championship stuff, and I think it varies probably depending on what district you're in. I know there are some softer ones just from a cyclical standpoint that happens in high school sports and in every sport. But I think the district championship, at least in our household, kind of feels like a big thing. How's it feel from your perspective when on the other side there's still a run for a state championship that you really want to entertain and you're 3 wins away from when it starts next week? What's the balance there for you guys and just from your perspective about being around this thing for a while?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, if you win a district championship in 3A baseball nowadays, that's saying something. That's a big deal. I mean, the 3A classification, and specifically our region within the state of Florida, I would put it up against any region in the state, 1A through 7A, no holds barred between, the bowls, and we've already spoke about Trinity, Bishop Snyder, Bowls, Episcopal, Providence. I mean, you want to talk about just the guys that you play day in and day out, just to try to win a district championship nowadays is something to be really, really, really special. So certainly there's something to be said for that district championship. Aiden did a great job of that coach speak. He's really been listening to us the last 10 talk about one. Brent, we were 9-7 at one point and had a really bad loss to Flagler Palm Coast on a Friday night of spring break. So really poor scheduling on the coach's part for that. But, after that 9-7, we just had to kind of regroup, start over, and just talk about one game at a time, because you start looking around, that's when you get in trouble. So we try to take that one game at a time, and that next one is against Trinity, and hopefully we'll have that opportunity to continue to play next week.
Yeah, I feel like I was talking to a Jags player for a second there. That one game at a time stuff. That's good stuff, man. But it is a good way to look at it. It's easy to get ahead of yourself in this stuff and project. I feel that. You guys know that. Aiden, how fun is it in this area? And Coach just mentioned it. 3A is unbelievable. It's really strong. By the way, it's strong on the softball side, too. It's really incredible that 3A is like that on both sides of what we talk about here on this show a lot on No Gate Fees, presented by Nimnick Buick GMC. But you know the talent around here, man. You're a senior now. You've seen it. How fun is it to go head-to-head with some of these guys, whether it's a team like Trinity or just even on the mound when you're matching up with a really quality pitcher? And I know you're not facing them, but it's still, it's going to be a 1-0, 2-1 type of game.
Yeah, it's really fun. Going back to last year when we faced, we obviously know all the guys, Brady, and all of them. Because we throughout the summer, I don't face them, but Cody faces them out the summer. We see them throughout the tournament, so we're buddies. But it's an experience for high school because it's a different mentality from summer ball to high school, and it's really how are you going to grow as a team to beat these talented teams? Because day in and day out, if you don't put in the work, then you're going to get your butt handed to you by any one of these teams in Jacksonville. And so, early on in the season, we were fortunate enough to beat some good teams around here, but then again, we got comfortable and lost to Episcopal. So you got to find that median of always staying on a uphill road for winning and putting the grind in all the time.
Coach Osbeck, this guy's good, by the way. You guys have trained him really well. Nice job by Aiden King. Love having the guys on talking. That's a great mentality, and I think high school will get you ready for the next level. Does he have a chance to go compete right away? It's really hard for a freshman, but it looks like the Gators could use some arms, and I'm not asking you to throw him in the starting rotation, but he's got stuff. I mean, is it the kind of stuff that could translate immediately, or will it take some work to get to that kind of level?
I'm sitting there, I got home last night after the game, and I flip on MLB, and I'm watching some of those big leaguers, and I'm like, how different is that than what Aiden's doing right now? And I know that's a big difference, but you see the velocity, you see the command more than anything else, and just his command on the mound, the way that he can just dictate counts and dictate at-bats for guys, it truly is special. And Florida certainly is a unique and special place, and for him to even have the opportunity to step on that mound in Gainesville as a freshman and get a jersey and get a number, that would be something pretty special for him. But I know if he does get that opportunity, which I certainly believe, I feel like he will be able to compete at that level. I really, really do, because it is really, really good stuff.
Okay, Aiden, let's leave you with this. Coach Osbeck's all-time stretch leader at some of the walk-off clinics, and does he do the stretch lines for you guys at the varsity level, or is that just like a little kid thing?
Baseball camp. Well, baseball camp stretching, right?
I mean, I love baseball camp. I love giving back. You know, I was fortunate enough. I came to his camp when I was, I guess, 7th grade or 8th grade.
And it was the stretching that got him here, Brent. Let's go.
Let's go. There you go. You did it. You won him over with the stretch line. That's all it took. Hey, thanks for jumping on for a few minutes. Good luck tomorrow against Trinity. Should be a fantastic game. And Aiden, good luck not only the rest of the season, but in the future. We'll be following you, man, in Gainesville, too.
Appreciate it.
Hey, thank you, Brent. Appreciate all the coverage you give us.
All right, you bet, man. Have a good rest of the season, and congrats so far. That's 9 in a row, by the way, for Bishop Snyder. Big win last night. No hitter for Aiden King. Talented kid, and I love seeing the guys get better and better, man. That's my fun part about being around here. It's like you watch that progression, and he was good right away, but he has just gotten better and better. And some guys regress, you know, or, Hamby, you know this, other guys come in, and there's a ceiling for them, right? There's some really good stuff, but they don't necessarily deliver or produce at this level because that's the game sometimes, and I fully get it. If there are some guys that project very well, from bat speed to foot speed to arms to tools to velocity on the mound, but it doesn't always work well for them at this level, high school or even sometimes in the summer. Maybe it's command that's off a little bit. That hasn't been the case for this kid. And that's what I like. If you're a Gator fan, if you're Florida in their program, you're getting a guy that you're seeing go boom, 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 but also his production continues to do the same thing at this level, which I think that's got to make you confident, and you got to love that as a coach or a recruiter with a guy coming in like that.
Yeah, and you see it so many times, especially in high school, 9th, 10th grade, guys dominate because they're so much further ahead physically, and they just can rely on their stuff. They rely on, at the bat, they're bigger, stronger, faster than a lot of guys. And you do see a lot of times guys who just rely on that, and eventually they get to their senior year and it catches up to them, and everybody else catches up to them. And what they were doing in 10th grade when they were way ahead, seems like a distant past, or at least they haven't progressed. I mean, how often do we see guys who dominate on the mound who are throwers and they're not pitchers because they don't have the command? They got high velocity coming out of travel ball and they throw it by guys, but eventually guys in their class catch up. Anybody can time a heater, if you see it long enough, and then if you don't have 3 pitches for strikes in Jacksonville, you're gonna get hit. You got to have 3 pitches for strikes or at least 2 big-time dominant pitches, or you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, I can tell you this. I'll vouch personally. Well, not personally, but I saw up close. I'll vouch for that slider. He's had that slider for 3 years, Aiden King has. Ty, I think, has like 6 strikeouts this year. He's not a guy that strikes out a lot. Aiden King struck him out 3 times with that slider his sophomore year. I have watched Ty play baseball for a long time. I don't think he's ever struck out 3. No, I know it. He's never struck out 3 times in a game, and it might be like 2 times in a game might be hard to find, like on one hand. Mm-hmm. So I like that slider is really good, and then the velo started to go, and the slider's the pitch now too, right? Everybody knows that, even more so than the curve. Hey, you played in 3A. You played at Providence. Look at 3A right now, and Coach was talking about this. Pensacola Catholic's number 1. In the class in 3A, and they're in the region, okay? So they're number 1 in the class, and they're in this region. And then Trinity Christian, who's 4 in the class, and 2nd in the region. Bowles, 10 in the class, 3rd in the region. Bishop Snyder's 4th in the region. Providence, 5th in the region. Episcopal, 6th in the region. And those schools actually represent 2 different districts, which is nice that they're not all in the same district, because that could be problematic, because you have to get a district winner from 1, 2, 3, and 4 to go to the regionals, and even if they're 12th in the region, somebody's going to go. So what I'm getting at here is there's a really good chance Trinity, Bowles, Bishop Snyder, Providence, Episcopal, Keystone Heights, all in the mix. Fernandina a little bit further back. They're probably not going to make it. But I bet they get, there's a really good chance they get 4 in, I guess, from this area in 3A. Once you check the box of some of the others. They might even get a 5th. They might get Episcopal in there too. So they might get all 5 of all 4 at-larges plus a couple of district champs into the regionals. That's how strong Class 3A is. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, and of course I'm biased because I'm coming from it, but it's hard not to agree with Coach and say that 3A is about as good as it gets, especially in Jacksonville. Every year it's like you really – you have a team that somewhat distances themselves talent-wise from the others, but then you get to the district, and then you're really flipping coins depending on, who's pitching, and that's why it makes tomorrow night Bishop Snyder Trinity. It's going to be real interesting.
Yeah, I think, by the way, Snyder's about as dangerous as they come as a team with those 2 guys on the mound, and if they deliver. And there are arms, by the way. Trinity's got a bunch of arms. Bowles, as deep as they come, probably on the bump. Well, they've been struggling a little bit in some areas, but Snyder, and then, Providence is always good, and they do have some arms, not the power arms the other schools that I'm mentioning have. And then Episcopal's been a little bit of a surprise, quite frankly. Episcopal, they've done a great job to put themselves in the position they did, and they got a big win over Providence yesterday. All right, let's take one more time out. We come back. Committed to the Uncommitted. We're going to go to Inglewood High School for that. We also have our High Five Power Polls. We'll put a bow on this show. No gate fees presented by Nimnik Buick GMC. We're hanging out here at 1937 Spirits and Eatery in San Marco, and what a week it is with district championships in baseball, softball. We've got flag football and lacrosse and tennis and volleyball. There's a lot going on in the area and in the state of Florida when it comes to high school sports. In Northeast Florida, we love hanging out on the back patio, maybe grilling out lunch or dinner with the family, enjoying the good weather, or maybe enjoying the big game on the TV. Or maybe your favorite team in town, the Action Sports Jacks team. This is great, except for when it's really hot or the bugs start coming out. But what if you didn't have to worry about that? Titan Outdoor Solutions will make your outdoor area a comfortable spot any time of the day, any time of the year. This makes too much sense. Titan Outdoor Solutions can give your home an upgrade. Customized pergolas, awnings, controlled shade, even retractable screens. The solution to beating the heat and the bugs and getting more use out of your home is Titan Outdoor Solutions. And this can even help prevent storm damage at your home. Living in Florida and living in your home is already good. Now make it great. Quality products, custom work, locally owned and operated. Visit TitanShuttersAndScreens.com or call 904-484-7580.
Navigating to that perfect car can be a daunting task. Trust me, I understand, but if you want to find the perfect blend of sales and service for your automotive needs, look no further than the Tom Bush family of dealerships.
Here at Tom Bush, they do things right. Dating back to 1970, they've been a staple in the community, giving back and keeping everything local. With 4 different brands to choose from, BMW, Mazda, Volkswagen, and Mini, there's a car for every member of the family, and the customer service is second to none. Looking to add an electric vehicle to your fleet? Tom Bush remains at the forefront of new technology with plenty of staff on hand to walk you through the future of driving and help eligible customers file for that EV tax credit.
Whether you're looking for your future driver's first car or you want to step up to luxury and arrive in style, the Tom Bush family of dealership is the only stop that you need to make.
Stop by the showroom or check out the inventory at tombush.com.
When you think sports, you think Action Sports Jacks, the official station of the Jaguars, on location for every game. But the most experienced team in town doesn't stop there. From high school football to the big events in the area, Action Sports Jacks is always on. Now, we take that to a new level. Action Sports Jacks 24/7 is around-the-clock coverage of the teams you love and the moments you can't miss. The best local sports in Jacksonville on Action Sports Jacks 24/7.
The UNF men's tennis team swoops to an A-Sun championship led by Coach of the Year Matt Lucas. The Ospreys battled over the weekend as the favorites and beat Stetson in the finals 4-0. The doubles was thrilling and eventually led to a critical point to begin the finals. UNF finished things off with a dominant singles performance. It's the third A-Sun championship for men's tennis and first since 2018. They will now advance to the NCAA tournament. For more Ospreys news and results in all sports, go to UNFOspreys.com.
Do you have ugly concrete around your home or business? Are you tired of concrete that is cracked, stained, or just plain ugly? Spartan Coatings' range of products provides a surface that is non-porous, easy to clean, antibacterial, and slip-resistant, all with superior durability.
Living in Florida nearly my whole life, I know the toll our weather can take on a garage floor. That's why I had Matt and the crew from Spartan Coatings transform this space. And the best part, they did it in one day.
It was a professional process from step one. The polyurea and polyaspartic system provides superior flexibility, is 4 times stronger than epoxy coatings, and will withstand temperatures high and low. Plus, it comes with a 20-year warranty. Whether it's a garage floor, patio, pool deck, driveway, or your interior flooring, Spartan Coatings has you covered. To get started transforming your ugly concrete surfaces, call 904-671-3930 or visit SpartanCoatings.com today for your free quote.
Everyone loves a good game night. Here you don't have to be the host. You don't have to clean up. They bring the food and drinks to you, and you can watch whatever you want on the big screens. It's more than a card room. It's a night full of fun with friends. Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now the newest location here in St. Augustine, right off 95 at exit 311. A brand new clean room, a full bar and menu, my favorite sushi in town. And I love the fries too. You don't have to just play poker at Best Bet. That's why I come over here to the table games and play one-card poker. That's a pretty good card and a win. One-card poker is like war as a kid, you against the dealer. And this isn't the only fun table game to play. A friendly staff, a lot of fun. It's a good night out at Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and the newest location in St. Augustine. You can be a serious player or a novice. It doesn't matter. If winning equals fun, you're a winner every time at Best Bet. I'll save you a seat, and I'll see you down here at Best Bet St. Augustine. We will be at Best Bet St. Augustine, by the way. Coming up on Friday, you can join us. Not all of you. If the kids are listening, you got to be over there 18. But hopefully you can come down and free brunch with Brent and Austin for the Brent and Austin Show on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 Network. We'll do that Friday, 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. We got free gift bags. We're going to do Superfecta tickets for the Kentucky Derby. We're going to have a lot of fun hanging out at 1937 Spirits and Eatery today. We'll be at Best Bet St. Augustine on Friday, and live audience. So come on out, be a part of it. We'll have a mic. You can ask questions. We'll be doing some giveaways, $250 worth of stuff for a gift basket. I mean, there's a lot of fun stuff down there just for coming out and hanging out with us for a couple of hours. Brent Martineau hanging out with Jason Hamby. Long day for Hamby. We appreciate him on these Wednesday, from the morning news to Brent and Austin to No Gate Fees, presented by Nimnick Buick GMC. And, well, let's get after it now and get our committed to the uncommitted and also High Five Power Polls. Take me wherever you want to go. Committed to the Uncommitted is our scholarship program. And how about this young man, Dom Petruno from Inglewood. Now, Inglewood lost yesterday, but Petruno's a guy to watch in the 2025 class. I've heard a lot of good things about him. Had several people, not just like their coaches, but also some opponents say some great things about Dom. And he's up at 90s touched. I think there's more velo in there. Switch hitter, that was their catcher last year, but they only catch him sparingly due to stepping up as a pitcher. Plays first unless the catcher is pitching, according to Coach. This is the first year he's really worked on his pitching, gets better every outing. So I think he projects as a pitcher, obviously a guy throwing 90. You see a lot of those big velo arms, Hamby, from the guys that used to catch or the guys that do catch. They can really chuck it, and it looks like he's got a big body, being able to develop that as well. Right-handed pitcher out of Inglewood, Dom Petruno, someone to keep an eye on.
And he's in 5.15 on the year.
He can swing it too, can he?
Yeah, I mean, don't sleep on the bat. He probably don't want to hear any talks of PO coming anytime soon. I don't care how fast he throws. At least for his senior year, you gotta do both, buddy.
Yeah, the projection here is I've heard a bunch of different things for a 2025 guy. I think he's going to be on the mid-major radar is probably where he ends up. Again, we try not to highlight the Power 5 guys. He might be a borderline one, especially if that velo keeps ticking up a little bit, so we'll keep an eye on it. But he's a 2025 guy. Again, our Committed to the Uncommitted, presented by Nimnicht Buick GMC, something we started in football season years ago. We've continued it in baseball and softball season with no gate fees. We'll have a $2,500 scholarship winner at the end of the year for a winner. And we've opened it up to juniors in the spring sports season with baseball and softball, senior-oriented when it comes to football. We just run out of time to get these guys to school if they're seniors. So we're just trying to get them some love. Keep an eye on them, coaches, especially the younger guys and gals who are heading into a big summer. By the way, if you know any 2024 softball pitchers, I had somebody reach out to me and say, hey, we're looking for some at one of the junior colleges in the state of Florida. I won't say who. I don't want to put their business out there, but get in touch with me. I'll get you in touch with them if need be. 2024 pitchers looking for a home in the softball arena. We'll be glad to link you up with someone putting a request out. I guess they had some locked in, and now some have gone away. You never know how that stuff works. So a door might be open if you're still looking for a door as a softball pitcher in the 2024 class. But Don Petruno, nice year for Inglewood as well, by the way. They did lose yesterday in the district semis. Committed to the Uncommitted here on No Gate Fees, presented by Nimnicht Buick GMC, and we appreciate Nimnicht and all the support for the Committed to the Uncommitted project. We'll have a couple more weeks of this. We've got a couple of names, but I'm telling you, coaches, if you tune in this show, or moms and dads, if you've got kids out there that probably are going to need a little push recruiting-wise, it doesn't hurt. Plus, there's a scholarship on the table. So send them in. Make it hard for us to pick between them. We do have some that we got to try to spread the wealth around, and especially around the area in Northeast Florida. But, hey, we want to build this program till we have really hard decisions to make, and maybe we highlight a few of them on each show. So nothing wrong. Hard recruiting world, especially right now. And we just want to do our part, help out a little bit. And by the way, I didn't say this, 4.0 GPA for Dom. So that never hurts. And especially in the sport of baseball, where scholarships are limited. That really, really helps. That can open new avenues and other doors. So kids, when you're coaches and say that, listen to them. That GPA matters to help get some money on the other side of things and help fill out those limited scholarships in the baseball world. All right, Hamby, where do you want to take me? Baseball, want to stick with it?
We're going to go. We're going to start with softball today.
All right, good deal. I didn't mix this up too much. I've been telling you this for a while now. In the high five power polls, my belief is you've got about 8 teams. These 8 teams that are kind of in the mix. And once in a while, I believe went out, and I think I did. I should have put on deck over there Oakleaf as well. Oakleaf's definitely in this conversation, so that was my bad. Sorry, Knights. But Baldwin, to me, is the team. Episcopal lost last week. We're going to get that in the district championship. Middleburg's been interesting. Middleburg, one of the top teams in the state, even higher ranked than Baldwin and Episcopal a lot of the year. But then they've had some close games. Like they had to come back and beat Columbia softball. They almost lost last night to Ridgeview, who's not bad, but I didn't expect that to go 8 innings. But they can beat anybody. So they're very good, very talented lineup. They've got the arms. So Middleburg is right there and going to make, I think, a strong run. Baker County's a team that I've shoved above others because I feel like they've come on strong and had some quality wins, including one over were they the team? No, Oakleaf is the one that beat Baldwin, I believe. I got Creekside back in there. They had a really good win over UC and then over Episcopal before losing to Baldwin in that tough stretch, and they just snuck by against Bartram last night. Didn't change too much up because in the districts everything's changing so fast. We kept things somewhat similar. West Nassau, though, did lose 17-1 yesterday in the semis. Paxton is right on the edge, and UC, I think, is going to make a state championship run, state Final Four run. I don't know if they're as strong as last year's state title team, but they are going to make a run in Class 2A. I would book that. And, again, don't sleep on Oakleaf, which I kind of did here on the poll. Sorry, Oakleaf Knights. But they are dangerous as well and can also make a run for sure. They're always good, and Charlie Maddox has been terrific on the bump. All right, let's get some baseball. What do we got? We got the private schools. Here's where I jockeyed this around just a little bit. And maybe I should even, especially after last night, throw Snyder up ahead of Kenny. But Kenny's a tricky team for me to figure out. I think they've been good. They had a couple of losses late in the year, but I still think they keep bouncing back. The competition's been a little limited this week when there wins. But St. John's Country Day is right there. Bowls, I like them. Trinity, I moved up to number 3, Hamby, because they really just didn't have a lot to prove. They had one more game after their 3-game losing streak, and then they got the win yesterday over West Nassau. So I moved them up a notch. But those private schools, all 5 of them, really make some noise. And, again, a lot of them sitting there right there in 3A, and Providence and Episcopal and the like are not far behind. In the public school, I kept Oakleaf Clay, and I like Columbia right now. They're hot. Did you see they beat IMG?
No, I didn't.
They're the first, apparently, I forget, I think Clayton had it in the paper, now I forget it. Their first public school, I think, in the state of Florida to beat IMG since, I don't know what the year was, 1916, something like, not 1916, I mean 2019 or 2016. So I don't know which one, but it was in a while. So it was a heck of a win. They beat them 1-0. Clay, I still think they're in every game. They're good. Even when they lose, it's like a good game. Oakleaf, they lost last night. They gave up the 7-run spot, but they are the team that's beaten St. John's Country Day and Trinity Christian.
Right.
And really tough. So I think record-wise, and if you look at like FHSA rankings and Max Preps, the order wouldn't look like this. But I think Oakleaf's really a dangerous squad. So, like I didn't do it this week, but I did it last week, Hamby. I said Brent has no idea about the public school rankings. I put Creekside and Bartram Trail in there. I think they're about even, and we're going to find out a little bit tomorrow night. You can go so many different directions, but I do think now, as things have shaken out, I think Creekside Bartram Trail have put themselves right in the mix as one of the top area public schools. There were stretches where they were, there were stretches where they weren't, but I think they could be and should be right there. So those are our high five power polls here in week number 7 of No Gate Fees. And we're winding down. We got a couple more weeks. We're going to take this deeper into the playoffs. Sometimes we stop it around now. We're taking this deeper in the playoffs because we got going on our season a little bit later on. We'll be back to the topics, and we'll have the regional stuff and who's playing who in baseball and softball next week. So should be a lot of fun. Who can make a run to a state championship is going to be now the question after the district championships are crowned later this week. Jason Hamby, good work. Nice job getting in. Coach Osbeck and Aiden King, a Florida Gator commit and signee, and ready to roll to Gainesville after they make a run here in the districts in the state playoffs. We are live at 1937 Spirits and Eatery. It's been fun hanging out with the Brent Austin Show, and also here today on No Gate Fees presented by Nimnik Buick GMC. We're in San Marco. We're going to do this a couple times a month, so come hang out with us. And don't forget Friday, Best Bet St. Augustine. If you want to join us, we'll be there. Good luck to all the teams playing tonight, tomorrow, and even if you have a Friday affair coming up in the district playoffs. And congratulations to everybody on a good season up until this point. That does it for No Gate Fees. For Jason Hamby, I'm Brent Martineau. We'll do it again next Wednesday, 2 o'clock on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 Network.